What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, NIO, and the overall market. Just notes that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends very soon at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market is going, I just want to say that we're seeing lower highs and lower lows being made for NIO. We tried to bounce, got a rejection off our 20 EMA. So we could be favoring a move back down to 4 flat, if not 3.94 for a temporary move to the downside. Although it is looking bearish, and although there's a risk of NIO revisiting this liquidity zone around the threes, I'm not really concerned because I see this as another potential buying opportunity for the long term. And if anything, once again, the long term fundamentals are still going to help this company for at least the share price moving forward. Now, the short term is going to be painful, most likely. We're continuing to fall, and I just want to let you guys know that you have to be prepared for that. But as time goes on, this will once again continue to grow as their fundamentals improve. They have great models such as the ET9. If you look at the ET9, it's going to be competing with other luxurious brands out there. And then besides that, we're starting to see a lot more things that could really benefit this. I also want to note that as we get closer to profitability, I think it will get a lot more positive remarks. But for now, we're getting sell ratings from Goldman Sachs and other analysts. So moving forward, I just want to say that the price price ratio has been on a downtrend. It's been falling quite a bit. It's downtrending like this because NIO has been losing a lot of strength compared to the markets. And then when it comes to our seasonality, we tend to see more volatility on Fridays. We're only green about 53% of the time. It also tends to be more seasonality at 10 a.m. and also during the second to last hour of the day. So besides that, that's all we're essentially seeing. There has been some talk by President Trump that in the US, they may be increasing tariffs on China. And we'll see what kind of effect that has on companies like NIO. So just keep that in mind. Besides that, when it comes to our heat map, right now the market was very mixed. We did see some more buyers step in for our ETFs. They're very unfazed by the news about what's happening with the Bank of Japan. And that's why I want to talk about that as well. So just know that the market is very flat in terms of the overall individual tickers, but our futures and ETFs are quite green, being held up as more buyers are stepping in, buying them up directly. I think that there's been a lot of excitement, especially after Trump's speech today at the World Economic Forum. And for now, there are still a lot of buyers who are present. Now, will they continue to pump like this? It's possible, but that's going to depend on some news. Now, tomorrow it's going to be very important. Very, very late at night today here in the US, the Bank of Japan is going to be announcing what they're going to be doing with interest rates, and most likely they're going to be giving us an increase. So if they do increase rates a little bit, will that affect the US? We'll have to see about that. They are anticipating that inflation is going to go up in Japan again, so just keep that in mind. There was once a time back in August of last year when they raised rates, and that was a factor which caused the US markets to fall. So we'll see. We'll see if this affects us as much or not. We are expecting them to increase rates. It's not really affecting the market too much. So far, the market looks unfazed. So we'll see. Just know that Japan has their inflationary numbers coming out very soon, in about half an hour. And then they also have their very important interest rate decision coming out very late at night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And then we'll be looking to see what the reaction is for the markets for tomorrow. There's nothing too crazy for earnings. We just have like Verizon and American Express announcing earnings tomorrow. Today, we just got Texas Instruments and a few more. Nothing too crazy. And then as far as SPY goes, we have about 310,000 of these calls expiring and over 1.01 million of these puts expiring, putting max pain at 603.19 being our put to call ratio. So it could go either way. Unfortunately for NIO, compared to the market, technically it does look a little bit weaker as we're making lower highs and lower lows. I think this favors a test of 4 flats. We'll see if we hold 4. If not, 3.94 could be coming. We'll see if we bounce. So there could be a small dip coming. For other factors out there, we have SPY. SPY is looking very bullish, at least technically speaking, but I can't always predict everything based off technicals because it depends on the Bank of Japan. If we soar past 610 and we hold above that and we don't get stopped and they continue to squeeze shorts, we could be on our way up towards the 612.5 area. And then I'd be looking for essentially that 615, 616 zone. If we break past that, and if we get a rejection after Japan raises their rates, if we can't hold 608, we're going to be at risk of coming back down to about 605. And if that fails us, we dump all the way down to 603. So I'll be watching those levels very, very closely Do we lose 608 and 605 to turn bearish, or do we break past 610 and start pushing for 612 to 615? Could go either way. For now, technically, we do favor upside a little bit more, but that depends on what the reaction is after Japan makes their big move. So please keep that in mind. We could go either way, but we are favoring upside a bit more. On the QQQ, we're in the middle. We are favoring upside somewhat more. If we break 533, we're looking for 535 plus. But if we get some kind of rug pull on the daily, and let's just say the Bank of Japan news or something causes this thing to get back down, we want to see a break of 527. If that fails us, we could be dipping to fill the gap towards 525. So we'll see. Just to be safe, we could go either way, so give this some time. For the Russell 2000, we look a bit more bullish. If we break past 230, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to 232. And if we reject, end up losing our support at 227, we're looking for a dip back down. So we'll have to see how things end up going. Could go either way, so be very, very patient nonetheless. For ES is looking very interesting right now as well. Let me just note that it's looking bullish right now. So it looks like it could be trying to get back up to these all-time highs at 6170, but we'll see if we reject or not off of that. We're favoring, we want to get back up here, so it does favor upside a little bit more to break all-time highs, but we'll see. Does the Bank of Japan cause us to lose the support at 6120 to start dumping to that gap fill for 6080, or do we continue to break out towards 6200? Could go either way. It is favoring upside, though. NQ is technically favoring upside. We closed above 22,000. That's a good sign. If we hold this, we could be pushing for 22,200. And if we lose 22,000, we're looking for a dip back down to 21,800. So it could go either way. We do look more bullish, technically speaking, so we'll see about that. This depends on the Bank of Japan and other factors. Bitcoin looks a bit more bullish. We're looking like we want to be testing 106,500. Nvidia looks bullish. As long as we're above 147, we favor a move for 150. If we were to lose 144, we're looking for that gap fill for 140. Could go either way, but we favor upside a little bit more. Tesla is showing weakness because when you look at, we're going to go to the 4 hour, that's where I drew this out. On the 4 hour, we're losing support, but it depends if we could hold 410 or not. There's a little bit of weakness in Tesla compared to the broader markets, but it's very choppy here. So we have support at 410 and resistance at 414. We're going to likely chop between those levels tomorrow, but if we lose 410, we could be dipping to like 406 and 402. We have to reclaim at least 414 to bounce to about 418. Could go either way, but there's a little bit of weakness right here, so just be very careful. There's that risk of us retesting 410. Aapl pumped to about 226 and rejected. I want to see it reclaim that. Otherwise, it could be dipping to about 222. For a few more, we have Coinbase. Coinbase is looking a bit more bullish. If we break 300, we're looking for 308. For Amazon, we're trying to hold 235. If we lose 235, we're looking for 233 and then 230. As long as we're above 235, we're looking for 237.5 as our targets. Could go either way. For Meta, we have a nice cup and handle like structure. We have to see if we could break past 637.5 to push it to 640. If we end up losing 633, we're looking for a dip back down towards 628. Could go either way, but this is still technically bullish as we're continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. So overall, great job by Meta. Microsoft is looking a little bit more bullish. We dipped and bounced. As long as we're above 448, we're looking for 450 tomorrow. If we end up losing 444, though, we're looking for a dip back down to 442. We'll see which way we go, so give this some time to develop. Google is slowing right here. If we lose 198, we're looking for a dip to 196. If we hold this, we could try to bounce for 202. So it could go either way. We're looking for essentially 198.5 as our main level. If that fails us, we could be dipping. So I'll be watching to see which way we end up going. With that being said, guys, the market's in a very, very critical place right now. I'll be watching to see what kind of moves we end up making. Just know that as far as SPY goes, we are looking a bit more bullish, technically speaking, but nothing is guaranteed until we get the Bank of Japan news. As far as NIO goes, there is weakness compared to the market, so it might try to push in the morning for about 4.2. And if we can't hold above that, then we could push and reject and make our way back down towards 4 flat. Unfortunately, it's continually rejecting. It's just looking very weak, and this could be dipping a little bit lower. However, that's once again another good buying opportunity for the long term, so please keep that in mind. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day. I'll be back in the next one for another update. Thank you, and peace out.